The studies we've done over the past 6 World Masters Games and how we're going to use that to bring the Masters movement forward in the future. So first, for those of you who are not aware, I'll talk a little bit about what Masters sport is, then what the International Masters Games Association is and where we go, and then what drivers for success we have identified that has helped us create the successful games we have to date. So first, let's see what Masters sport is. The philosophy takes its anchor in the Olympic Charter, and as it says, the practice of sport is a human right. Every individual must have the possibility of practicing sport in accordance to his or her needs, and this is exactly where we take our foundation. So the fundamental idea is to create multinationals and multi-sports events for mature athletes to promote exactly the sport for all philosophy. And therefore we do not have any qualifications criteria except for the minimum age requirements that are set by the international federations. That varies a little bit. Swimming is quite young, it's 25, and in the other end of the scale we have curling, which is 50. But in general it's 30 to 35. So what we want to do with these events is to offer physical activity and at the same time also satisfy the social needs in a festival atmosphere. The athletes represent themselves only. We don't have national teams and we fully allow multinational teams, which means you could participate with your friends from college or from your workplace. We also would like to establish an example for peers and for youth. A lot of the participants are parents or maybe even teachers or coaches in the local clubs. And to see them compete is always very inspirational. And finally, obviously, we also want the athletes to have a cultural and tourist experience to take with them home. So, who are the Masters athletes? As I said, they're mature athletes, and as long as they fit the minimum age requirement, then they can participate. We have all kinds of levels. We have former Olympians, we have former world champions, we have club level and weekend warriors. So any level, as a matter of fact, all of you could participate, and we will look forward to see you in the future, obviously. The concept of having these games to work the way they work financially, and one of the factors is that the athletes pay themselves. They pay to participate, they pay for the accommodation, and they also pay for the travels. So let's look a little bit about who the Masters are in terms of numbers. There is a tendency to believe that Masters athletes are very old, but as a matter of fact, they are younger than one would think, and as we can see, the majority, 65%, is between 60 and 40. And we can see that they're actually getting younger in terms of statistics. The household income is relatively high. These are based on studies on the World Masters Games, and the average income is 107,000 US. And as you can see, we have almost 45% of them have an income over 100,000. The educational level of our athletes is high. It's quite high, and that obviously ties in with the high income level as well. The marital status is most people think actually that Masters events are single parties, but in reality, I don't know what they do when they're there, but they are at least married. The majority of them, and a lot of them comes as a couple to compete either together in, for instance, mixed doubles in tennis, but also in individual events. The gender, it's changing a little bit depending on where we are in the world. Actually, Europe and North America, it tends to be majority female, and especially in Australia and New Zealand, where Masters Games is very big, it's far more towards the male side. But it's almost 50-50 across the globe. we have a technical breakdown, I can see. For the athlete was to have a stimulating experience, to gain an experience they can look back upon, and to do something that normally wouldn't do. And finally, for those who have competed previously, it's to relive the excitement that always happens at a sport event and what makes sports so great. The travel behavior, and this is obviously for the people who come from outside the country, and the tourist behavior is that the shopping is 63%. Maybe that ties in with the majority was women, but I can't say for sure. The 39% are patronizing bars and nightclubs, and 32% are attending other sports events. That's including seeing other events at the games. The most popular type of accommodation is 42% are staying in hotels. So let's talk a little bit about the International Masters Games Association, where it was and where we're going. The fact was, originally it was formed as a private entity, a profit organization in '85. That didn't work, and it was eventually founded in its current form in 1994. It's a non-profit organization. We are owned by the international federations, who are also our members. We currently have 20 of the international federations, predominantly the Olympic sports. There are 12 members on our board. They consist of the presidents of the international federations and IOC members. Currently, we have 6 presidents and 6 IOC members on the board. The organization is entirely self-funded. We get our funding from the host cities in terms of rights fee, and we are located in Lausanne, in Switzerland, where we sit with the international federations, who are stakeholders, obviously, and the Olympic Committee. So, the type of Masters events, there are many different types of Masters event. The top 2 in blue are the ones that are directly under the IMGA. And the World Masters Game is the biggest event. The World Winter is going to be in 2010 in Slovenia, and we've just launched the regional events with the first European event off the ground. Then the international federations also have Masters events, and some NOCs and our national Olympic committees also have a Masters event. And finally, there are a number of smaller city events. Just to go quickly back in history, for the World Masters Games, with the timeline, we can see the numbers have grown, and especially after the federations took over in '94, the numbers have jumped quite substantially. As you can see, and I'll come back to the numbers for Sydney, which is next year, in a brief moment. And we will announce sometime later this year, or in the beginning of next year, we'll announce where the 2013 Games will be, but it's likely to be in a major city in Europe. Just quickly to go through the numbers for the Games in Sydney. The budget is about 30 million US. The economic impact projections made by the city is 135 million. So it's a relatively good return on investment, very good actually. We have 72 venues, 28 sports, and there are currently 50 people, 50 staff in our office in Sydney, and we expect to have 6,400 volunteers. So I will quickly go through the drivers for the various stakeholders we have, the drivers of success. And obviously the internal drivers is, as I said, we're self-funded, which gives us a certain level of autonomy. We are recognised by the Olympic Committee, which is obviously very important, and the international federations, the fact that we work with the federations to deliver a consistent product. We have a very strong board with a high level of expertise and a strong network in the sporting world. And we also offer high-value proposition to our various stakeholders. The external drivers is the globalization. People travel more and more. There is more focus on healthy lifestyle, and you can see that. Everyone here is aware of that. The population is aging, and well, up till recently there was an increase in wealth. So for the stakeholders, the international federations, we help the international federations to build the Sport for All program. And we offer continuity for their members so they can continue to compete in the sport of their choice high up in age. The city, the apart from obviously getting the experience of hosting a major sport event, we also, there's a strong economic impact, and we also know that the local fitness level is improved quite a lot. We have seen in Edmonton in Canada, we had an increase in club level for sports of 60%. So there is some substantial benefits, not only financial for the city. And finally, obviously, the athletes, an event like this, for instance, in Sydney, to come and compete on the Olympic venues is a tremendous goal for an athlete to come and to train towards. And obviously, they get to meet other like-minded people and create and find friendships around the globe. And that is obviously about active and healthy lifestyle. So quickly, in conclusion, in the end here, as I said from the beginning, it's about sport for life and sport for all. It's about lifelong involvement, and it's one of the fastest growing segments in sport, master sport. Finally, we offer more than sport. We offer culture and tourism experience, which is important. We know it's very important to the athletes. And we are constantly using these drivers and knowledge now to further bring the master movement forward. So, as we say, it's about fit, fun, and forever young. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Joe for your interesting presentation.